The tension board is a great tool for training power and grip strength, but longer routes, like going top roping, can require you to climb 60 feet or more, and this tension board is, well, maybe 10 to 12 feet. So, how can you possibly use board training to work on endurance? Well, let me show you. All right, what's going on, everyone? At Rock Solid today, and we're gonna be doing some endurance training. So Rock Solid is doing this circuit challenge later on this week. Basically, you have to do every single climb of a certain color, which is their grading system, and you have a 2-hour time period to do it. So obviously, boulders are not known for their endurance, and I'm not gonna gain a whole lot of endurance in a couple of days' time, but I do wanna see where I'm at right now. So we're gonna do a workout that I saw on Anton Fomenko's YouTube channel.
Okay, Anton, so I have a workout for you. It's 5x5. It's something that I usually do. I mean, when the gyms are open, I usually do this. So you do one boulder problem 5 times in a row with no break, and then you have 5 minutes break and you move on to another problem.
It was basically just doing one climb on a tension board, but doing it 5 times back to back with minimal rest. I'm gonna start at V0 and I'm gonna see how high we can go in the grades before I start failing. So that's pretty much that is, and let's get started. So they turned on the music shortly after I started this workout, so I stopped recording audio at the gym. But this first climb that I did was a V0. It was pretty easy, it was pretty straightforward, there was nothing fancy going on. I mean, it was a V0 after all. But the one thing that I really like about this workout is that I got more efficient with the finishing move each time that I climbed it. You can see that like my feet change on the first, second, and third rep of doing this climb. And so one of the benefits that I've realized of this training is that you have to become more efficient with that particular climb. Given the amount of reps that you're doing, you basically have time to figure out better ways of doing certain sections, and you're kind of also forced to find more efficient ways as you start to fatigue. You're not going to have the same power, you're not going to be able to just muscle through sections, so you kind of have to start using your technique better. Overall, this was a great climb to start with because I really wasn't sure how this workout was going to feel. I wasn't sure what it was going to be like to do the same climb 5 times over and over, and I really wanted to ease into the workout. This climb was definitely a pretty easy route to do this with. I think next time that I do this workout, I'll probably start with V1s at least. But again, this was definitely a great first climb to start with. The second climb I did was a V1. This one, I dialed in my beta pretty quickly, which made the grind doable because I definitely started to feel the pump towards the end. The climb was pretty right arm heavy, as in there tended to be a lot more pressure on the right arm, like this move, and then at the finish. So I was definitely starting to get gassed in the right arm more than the left. But again, I was pretty happy with this choice of climb. I definitely had to dig down in the final 2 reps, but I didn't feel like I was gonna fail at any point. One of the challenges that I found with this workout is actually finding the right climb. You don't want to find something that's too technical because you're trying to work on your power endurance. You're not trying to specifically work on technique, so you don't want to fail because of your technique. You want to fail because of your endurance or your power giving out. But at the same time, you don't want to choose a climb that you can't do multiple reps of. So I was kind of aiming for climbs that are like 3 to 4 grades below my max. And in the end, I was very happy with this choice of climb, but I knew that I could go harder. So the last climb that I did was a V2. I was also really happy with this choice of climb. I found the beta pretty early and I didn't really vary from that much. It had this really nice Gaston move, and then you brought your left hand over to the smaller crimp right next to it, and this part definitely proved to be the crux as I started to get fatigued. The Gaston was a lot in the shoulder over time, and the fingers on my left hand were really starting to feel it. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see in my 4th rep, I made a pretty desperate grab to that left hand move, and I ended up barely hanging on. But luckily I was able to push through, and I was able to finish all 5 of these, so I was pretty stoked on that. Overall, I was super happy with how this workout went. I actually didn't think it was going to go as well as it did. I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to do 5 V2s back to back on a 40-degree tension board. So that gives me a lot of confidence going into this circuit challenge next week. Some of the pros of this workout, I'd say I felt more of a pump than I've ever felt while just going bouldering by myself or doing like normal tension board climbs. Obviously my strength goes when I do those sort of climbing, but I've never felt like a pump, as in like I didn't think that my hands were starting to like just totally give out. So I was very happy with this in terms of an endurance training tool. It's really similar to like a 4x4 workout, if you've ever heard of that. A 4x4, for anyone who doesn't know, is you choose 4 different climbs and you do those back to back to back with minimal rest in between. But this one obviously just takes up a lot less space, and then it also kind of takes up less brain power because you don't have to choose your next climb. What I would do differently next time is I would probably just stick with harder climbs. I think I would try and stick with all V2s next time, or maybe do 2 V2s and then try and go for a V3 on the last one. But that kind of leads into the cons of this is it's definitely tricky to find the right climbs. I had to go through a couple before I settled on these climbs. I basically looked through the app to find a climb, then I would try it out, and I would be able to determine whether it was going to be too difficult to do or it was going to be too easy to do. And it is kind of annoying to jump back onto the same climb over and over again, but that's what you get with bouldering. You kind of have no choice. So it takes a little bit of discipline to, as soon as you hit the ground, jump right back into the starting move and basically get off the ground as quickly as possible. So if you're looking to work on your power endurance, highly recommend this climb. Choose 3 climbs to do this with and just repeat them 5 times back to back to back. If you do, like I said earlier, try and aim for climbs that are going to be 3 to 4 grades below your max. I would stick to 4 grades below to begin with just to see where you're at. That's kind of what I did. I mean, my max is a V6. So V2 is, 4 grades below. But as you get more comfortable, I think I'm going to try and push that. I would definitely want to try a V3. If not the next time I do this, then like the time after. If you're just looking to work like regular old endurance, if you're looking for like long training sessions, this probably isn't the one for you. I would stick to mostly doing top roping or like big wall climbing or even just hangboard sessions. In terms of like, low intensity endurance, those are going to be king above this for sure. But yeah, that's all I got for this week. Let me know if you end up doing this workout. Let me know if you've done this workout before and your thoughts on it. And if you want to see a max effort on the tension board, you can check out this video right over here. Thanks, guys.